So, speaking of reboots and all that kind of junk and sitcoms, we're doing all this stuff. Murphy Brown's coming, Will and Grace, and everything's got to be rebooted and put back on television and stuff. And of course, one of those things is Roseanne. The Roseanne sitcom that all of us are familiar with. You all know who the hell Roseanne Barr is. She had a little sitcom back in the late 80s, early 90s that was very successful. Very successful. And ABC brought that back, rebooted it and brought it back. The interesting thing here, and I think I mentioned this on a previous episode, Roseanne Barr is a rabid Orange Menace supporter. Rabid. In fact, if you think Roseanne Barr is funny, I would encourage you to go check out her Twitter. I don't follow her Twitter, but I've seen some of her tweets. And oh man, I mean, we're talking James Woods crazy. James Woods crazy. Rabid Orange Menace supporter. Like, not to the point of like, oh, you're Trump supporter. Okay, like, no, rabid about it. And ABC gave her sitcom back on ABC, which has been killing it in the ratings, until episode 3 came out. And they had a little bit of a dip in their ratings. And the reason for that they're saying, I'm going to give you a quote here. Here is part of a scene from episode 3 of Roseanne. And this is Roseanne Barr talking to John Goodman. Roseanne plays the character Roseanne. John Goodman plays Dan. That's the Connor family. I just want to go through this for you. They've dozed off on the couch. Let me set the scene up for you. They've dozed off on the couch and wake up disoriented. What time is it? Did I miss dinner? Dan asks. It's 11, Roseanne says. We slept from Wheel to Kimmel. And then, we missed all the shows about Black and Asian families, Dan says. They're just like us, she says. There, now you're all caught up. Now, the shows that they're referring to in Roseanne are Blackish and Fresh Off the Boat. If you've watched these shows, the situations that those families deal with are nothing like what the Connors deal with on their show. However, the writers of Roseanne, and most likely Roseanne Barr, who oversees the entire, most of the show, decided to take a jab at them. Twofold, saying that all sitcoms are the same, and most likely trying to infer that her show, Roseanne, inspired all of these sitcoms that came afterward. Well, Miss Barr, no, it didn't. I semi-enjoyed your show back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was moderately funny. However, it went downhill so quickly. Just so quickly. And then somehow someone thought it would be a good idea to give you a show, Miss Barr. To give you your show back. And we've seen what's happening with this show, with lines like this. And in fact, a scene where she literally commits child abuse against what on the show is her granddaughter. Shoving her head in a sink and spraying it with a hose. And then there's a line about how our generation of snowflakes has ruined political correctness. Ruined it. So, Roseanne Barr, I have nothing to do with your show. I never will. I will never watch it. And I encourage any of you out there listening to use your common sense and not give her ratings. Because she doesn't deserve it. She's a hateful, bigoted racist. We've seen that. If you need proof, go look at her Twitter for more than 2 seconds. You don't need more than 2 minutes. And you will see it. In fact, those of you that listen to the podcast will appreciate this because she spoke out against the social injustice protests that were happening in the NFL and encouraged fans of hers to boycott sponsors of the NFL because she felt it was disrespectful to the anthem and the flag, despite the fact that it had nothing to do with military or the flag or the anthem. The best part about that, Wall fans, the best part about that is the hypocrisy right there. The hypocrisy right there. Let me tell you about a little baseball game back in 1990 at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. Those of you that aren't aware, that is what is now Qualcomm Stadium. They brought in Roseanne Barr to sing the national anthem. She then proceeded to make a mockery of the national anthem, the way she sang it. Mockery. Screaming it. Not even singing it. As she finishes the national anthem, right as she finishes it, She turns, spits, and grabs her crotch and then walks off the field. So, Miss Roseanne Barr, it's okay for you to do that and disrespect the flag and the anthem the way you did that. However, some African American athletes kneeling for racial injustice is wrong. You need to go check yourself. That's what you need to do. And I hope to God that everyone realizes the racist bigot you are and stops watching your fucking show. Because you don't deserve the ratings. You don't. It's hateful. And we don't have any room for that in this country. We got enough of it coming out of DC. We don't need it coming out of you. And shame on you, ABC, for letting this continue. Just for ratings. Just for ratings.